Is this like a motivational seminar? Like, what is happening? Okay, hi everybody. Thanks for coming back if you've been here before, or hi, welcome if you're new. My name's Mickey. I'm a therapist and we talk about therapy things on this channel. Today, we are making a video that has been much requested. I see you guys in the comments. I know that you guys want me to talk about Lucifer, so we're talking about it today. I won't lie. One of the reasons that I have kind of put off making this video is because I have like a weird mental block about reacting to TV shows that I haven't watched in their entirety. But there's a lot of seasons of the show, and like I have a day job and there's a lot of things going on, so I was like, I'll react to it after I watched all like 6 seasons or something. I didn't do that. So we're just gonna pick some clips. If you guys watched the Married at First Sight video, this is gonna be a very similar energy where like, I don't really know what's going on. I don't really understand the context of this. We're just gonna dissect these interactions as if I happened upon them or was like eavesdropping or something, and just kind of like take them at face value. So I am sure there's a lot of context and character development that I'm missing. I'm aware of that. But like I said, I know that y'all wanted me to talk about it. So in the interest of time, we're just going to talk about it. With that said, if there are other scenes or other clips that you guys want me to talk about or react to, please put them in the comments and let me know what season they are and what episode they are, and I will happily look them up and include them in the next episode. But for today, we just have 2 clips because I found them interesting, and I think there's like some good discussion to have there about like therapy myths and things like that. So that's what we're doing today. Before we get into it, if you are new here and you haven't subscribed, please go down there and click the subscribe button. And then while you're down there, you may as well click the like button and like the video, since it's probably gonna be a fun time. I don't know yet, but let me know in the comments. Did you have fun? Let me know if you liked it. That's it. Here we go. Okay, so this, like I said, is a collection of 2 clips. One is from season 1 and the other one is from season 2. And so we're gonna talk about them independently. So here we go.
I'm glad you came back.
I needed to get my parking validated.
So your items were never recovered?
No.
Earlier you said that the items weren't that important. Yet now you seem very upset that they're gone.
Well, I'm a walking paradox. What can I say?
Sometimes we need to lose something before we can understand its value.
I didn't.
This is kind of a weird interaction, just for the sake of talking about it. It's not uncommon for a therapist to kind of outline what's coming into the room in terms of things that are contradictory. I've used this technique before where I'll say like, I'm hearing you say this, but then I'm also noticing that like maybe your emotions are not lining up with the thing that you're saying. That's fair. I think it's odd. Like, sometimes we have to lose things before we realize how important they are. Like, therapy's not really meant to be philosophical per se. We're not really here to prescribe like a value or a meaning to life, or like to give you these like overarching perspectives on how to live your life. So I think, I don't know, that would just kind of caught me off guard.
Lose anything?
No, you were the victim of a crime. It's only natural that you would feel violated. And often our feelings of loss connect to how we feel about who we are.
Oh, right, so we're back on that, are we? You want to talk about my identity?
So, again, I want to be clear. I've never watched this fucking show. I don't have any of the context about their relationship or like if they know each other. I'm assuming that this isn't their first session, but it is like a little bit combative in nature. Like, she's being a little bit aggressive, and all therapists will have a different like technique or preference in terms of how they interact with their clients. So it's not to say that that's necessarily wrong, but it is a little bit like forward to kind of like really just punch somebody in the face with the thing that you as the therapist want to talk about. At least my preference as a therapist tends to be more of a guiding style, where we're more so like the metaphor that I use with my clients is that they're in the driver's seat and I'm in the passenger seat. So
Yes, because you're the devil. You told me your names, but you left out a few others. Abaddon, Belial, Prince of Darkness.
Someone's been brushing up on their Sunday school.
Yes, but before you fell, you were known as Samael, the Lightbringer.
I don't go by that name anymore.
That was a name that connotated your father's love for you.
Right. Was casting his son into hell also an expression of his love?
No, God didn't cast you out of heaven because he was angry with you.
How can you presume to know God's intentions?
No, I don't. I can't.
Then maybe stick within the limits of your intellectual capacity.
Or maybe my simplicity offers me a different perspective.
Again, this is like very combative. Not that I want to label... I don't want to label this as wrong per se. I'm sure that there is a time and a place for this. It's not my style. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong, but it is a little bit inappropriate for a therapist to say, this person didn't do this because of this, because we don't know. And I recognize that we're talking about something that's like a little bit, ooh, you know, like no one is ever going to actually have a therapy session with the devil in which they're talking about the devil being cast out of heaven by God. That's maybe a little much, but like assigning intention or reason or claiming to know the motivations for something when you don't is not therapeutically helpful. A lot of therapists tend to take this approach in which it's called like a not knowing approach, where we just kind of walk into the room with this like perspective that like, I don't know about your life and that's okay, because the client is the expert in their own life. And so we're here as the professional to gather information and to deepen your understanding of the predicament in which you find yourself. Our job is not to tell you what the answer is or what the meaning is, but to help you discover that for yourself. And so like this very forward approach, like, well, my simplicity offers me a better perspective, is like, it rubs me the wrong way a little bit.
God cast you out because he needed you to do the most difficult of jobs. It was a gift.
Gift? He shunned me.
That's wholly inappropriate. And again, I understand that we're talking about a thing that is like, I know that there are going to be people who are Christians that are mad at me for saying this. This is like made up. It's like mythical to me. I know that it's real to some people, whatever. It's not, this is not a real person, both because it's a TV show, but also because nobody's having a therapy session with a person who claims to be the devil. But if this were a person who was talking about abuse from their actual like human father, it's very inappropriate to say like it was a gift or like they did that because they love you. Nope. We don't do that. That's very inappropriate. If your therapist ever says that to you, like that's very much grounds for like, what the fuck is that about? We need to have a serious conversation about that statement before we go anywhere else. Otherwise I need to find a new therapist. Because it's like apologizing for an abuser, and that's never appropriate or okay. So like very much, I want to be clear, like we as therapists don't claim that attitude.
Vilified me. He made me a torturer. Can you even begin to fathom what it was like? Eons spent providing a place for dead mortals to punish themselves. I mean, why do they blame me for all their little failings, as if I'd spent my days sitting on their shoulder, forcing them to commit acts they'd otherwise find repulsive? Oh, the devil made me do it. I have never made any one of them do anything. Never.
You see, this is why. Not only because you're annihilating your therapeutic relationship by taking the side of not your client, but also because you can push somebody into very unsafe emotional territory. This is like a very strong reaction to have, which makes sense. This is like a really sore subject, I would imagine. And sometimes therapists will talk about like wanting to use this as a catalyst to like help someone express emotion. I don't super love that. I know a lot of other therapists who also don't love that because it can feel manipulative. The purpose of therapy, again, is to help a person make space for and feel safe to explore the emotions that they wouldn't normally, or maybe that they have been putting off, or they haven't felt safe to explore before. This to me is like frustrating because it, I think, paints therapy in this way where like therapists are just gonna like, surprise, I forced you to deal with this very traumatic thing that you're not ready for. And like, therapists really shouldn't be doing that. We should be having clear and open conversations about the topics we're gonna get into, the way that we're gonna discuss them, and clients should be willing and informed participants in this. I very much dislike this trope of therapists being like this mastermind who's like puppet mastering their client. Like, stop that. We don't do that.
What happened to you is unfair.
Unfair. This is unjust. For all eternity, my name will be invoked to represent all their depravity. That is the gift that my father gave me.
It was an act of love.
How do you know?
Because you are his favorite son, Samaya.
Do not call me that, please.
You are his fallen angel.
This is boundary violations galore. If your client is yelling at you to stop, we need to stop. And we also need to like sit down and have a moment of reflection to say, wow, okay, strong emotions coming up. Are they strong emotions about the topic, or are you having a strong reaction to me and my behavior? Because it's not uncommon, I guess, or like it's not impossible for a therapist to behave in a way that triggers a client or hurts a client, and we need to be ready and willing to take responsibility for this. So I think this would have been a good moment to like pause and do that, but she's like, nah, full steam ahead. Like, let's keep aggravating him.
But here's the thing, when angels fall, they also rise. All you have to do is embrace all that you are.
Is this like a motivational seminar? Like, what is happening? And also, like, that's all you have to do. All you have to do is just embrace the trauma. Like, no, 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 no. This is a vast oversimplification and also like a weird toxic positivity spin on something that is actually very traumatizing. And like sounds like a deep identity crisis. I don't love this.
I can't.
Yes, you can. You just have to be open to the process.
You don't understand. I can't.
But why?
Because I stole them from me!
Do you see? Do you see why? Not that I'm suggesting that a client punching a fucking hole in the wall is ever an appropriate reaction, but this is what I mean, where we can push people into unsafe emotional territory where they can be hurtful to themselves or hurtful to others. But also, this is unfair. This is traumatizing and this is painful for a client to walk through if they haven't previously agreed to do that. No therapist should be forcing a client to work through emotions or difficult subjects that they're not ready to. It's actually one of the caveats that I give all of my clients when we have our intake conversation, that sometimes things are sore subjects and that's okay. And so I give all of my clients carte blanche to tell me to fuck off at any time. There is always the option to pull the ripcord and say, nope, I'm not ready. I don't want to talk about it. This is a sore spot, or like, we're just not there today. That is always allowed, and you as a client should be allowed to say that to your therapist without them continuing to antagonize you and disrespect your boundaries. Therapists oftentimes are one of the first opportunities that people have to see what healthy boundaries can really look like and what healthy communication can really look like. So it's super disappointing that this is what we got. You look at her all scared.
So the three of you plan to use this flaming sword to cut through the gates of heaven and go home.
That's the plan, yes.
Do you mean actual gates? Like big and pearly? Are we talking clouds, harps, old dudes in white robes?
And my dad is Morgan Freeman. Focus, Doctor. Now, come on, I need you to help me control my emotions.
Well, emotions can't be controlled, Lucifer.
What? Wasn't that your entire job?
This is a common misconception. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like so distracted by his eyeliner. Is he wearing eyeliner? Do we know if he's wearing eyeliner in this? It's like kind of expertly done. Like, it looks like maybe he just has a really thick lash line, but he also looks like he might have eyeliner on. It's distracting. Anyways, this is a common misconception that people have about therapists. Our job is not to teach you how to control your emotions. Emotional regulation can be a part of the learning that happens in therapy, but our job is not to teach you how to like suppress them and force them down or like shove them away. We don't do that. I mean, some people do, but it's not very helpful to you in the long term. Most of the learning that happens in therapy around emotional regulation is more so in learning how to express them. Honestly, a lot of people tend to have the opposite problem where they are used to suppressing the emotions and don't know how to express them. And so the work is just in like figuring out, how do I feel these feelings and how do I express these feelings in a safe way and in a way that doesn't feel like it's going to swallow me whole.
My job is to help you understand your emotions. I can help you become aware of what it is you're feeling or trying to avoid feeling.
Right, you've got that look on your face when you're saying something insightful and waiting for me to figure it out.
I mean, I won't lie, I do sometimes make this look at my clients because sometimes clients know, you know, like, especially if you've been working with someone for a while and they have kind of an understanding of their therapeutic goals and objectives, and you guys are having regular and dynamic conversations about where they're trying to go. Sometimes a well-timed look or expression is clinically appropriate, I think.
I think you married her to hide something. Or from something.
Right, look, what I may or may not be hiding is beside the point, Doctor. Either way, I need the sword lit, so come on. Emotions, chop chop.
You clearly have a lot of walls up, Lucifer. Between yourself and your emotions, and now between yourself and me. If you're unwilling to bring those walls down, I can't help you.
I don't super love that. Again, I want to redirect us back to like 15 seconds ago where I mentioned that sometimes therapeutic relationship is the first interaction that folks have with healthy boundaries and healthy communication. And so I'm frustrated by the presentation of a like an ultimatum here, like either you bring the walls down or I can't help you. That's a very normal part of therapy, is people having walls up both with themselves and with us. It comes with the job. Like most therapists are very aware that when you are showing up, that's probably going to be at least a part of the journey. No therapist should be telling you like either you fix it right now or I'm not helping you. Therapists should be very understanding that you're with working through all different types of things. We actually have like a cute little phrase that we use. We say we're going to meet people where they're at. That's like part of the work, is figuring out how to do that. Also, really quick, what does that mean? Like, take the walls down or I can't help you? Like, how? Did you maybe want to give some instruction on like how to do it? No? Okay, thanks.
Well, it turns out you were right, Doctor. It's impossible to control your feelings. And anyone who does risks turning into a murderous lunatic with a child of below average intelligence, so...
Yeah, well, I'm sure at least some of that's inaccurate. But I'm glad you've come around. Are you ready to be more forthcoming now?
Yes, I suppose.
I'm frustrated by this because I feel like the comment that she made earlier about it's not my job to help you control them, it's to help you understand them and maybe understand what you're avoiding was great. Like, I'm very happy with that. And I feel like that's a real thing that therapists would say. But this is like an odd way to react to your client making a self-discovery, because I've had these clients as a therapist. I am very much this client as a consumer of therapy, where sometimes we have to figure things out on our own, you know? And even when we have a professional telling us something, we're like, no, okay, sure. And then we like go and try and do the opposite of what our therapist just told us. And then we come back and we're like, well, all right, you were right. Like, that's very normal. And I think honestly, this would have been a good moment to celebrate, like, yay, we learned something. Like, that's cool. Like, tell me about it. How did that happen for you? What did you feel? You know, what showed up for you? Like, let's have a conversation about that and like, you know, understand what were the things that were a part of this situation that helped you learn, so that we can maybe try and recreate that later. But instead she's thinking, are you willing to be more forthcoming with me? Like, you don't have to gloat, lady.
That's what it takes to get you to help me. So, I wasn't lying before, obviously. I do intend to use the flaming sword to cut through the gates of heaven.
But what you left out
Is that once I do that, I plan on kicking Mum into heaven and slamming the gates on her backside.
But she'll be trapped there on her own. Won't God destroy her?
Hopefully they tear each other apart, then they'll both get what they deserve.
What's that?
Do we know who his mom is? Whatever, it doesn't matter, I guess. I don't know what that means, but I'm assuming it's significant.
Punishment for manipulating me. I mean, Dad set a trap for me, but Mum was the one who made sure that I fell into it. She was the one that made sure that I felt... that I felt things that I don't want to feel anymore.
That right there. That what you stopped yourself from feeling. That's exactly what you need to feel.
Well, the anger. Oh, I feel it.
Not the anger. The pain. That's what you've been suppressing. All the pain and heartbreak that you have over what happened with your mother.
I actually really liked this. I thought that this was a cool moment, because this is not unlike something that would happen in real life therapy. Sometimes this is a theme that will show up for people where the suppressing of emotions, like we talked about earlier, is a pattern that happens often enough that we don't really see it. And so we'll point it out to someone and they'll think that we mean to feel the anger. And actually, we mean feel what's underneath that. Anger is an emotion in its own right. It's one of the universal emotions. And so it is sometimes like independent. But oftentimes, especially if we're working through something traumatic, anger can be a way for folks to mask a more vulnerable emotion like fear or hurt or sadness. And so that's a common topic of discussion in therapy is like, what's underneath that? Like, what's underneath the anger? When we delve a little deeper and we ask some more intentional questions, what's happening underneath there and what is it that you're trying to avoid feeling by covering it up with this anger? So I liked this. I like that she talked about this. I don't love that she used like a super directive tone, but like, it's a TV show.
And Chloe. I know it's difficult. But the only way to get over that pain is to go through it.
He looks genuinely shocked by that. I also don't disagree with that statement. Sometimes the best way that we can work through an emotion is by working through it instead of, around it, which is like the common thing that people try to do is like, well, I'm just gonna like skirt my way right past it. And like, no, we have to like straight through the middle. So that's the end of the clips that I have. So let's like scooch it back and talk about it a little bit.
Was he tearing down a wall there or something?
He like punched a hole in it.
Oh my god.
The wall is apparently made of brick. It's like the nicest goddamn building of all time.
A lot of them.
So, like I said, that's the end of the clips that I have for today. All in all, I don't hate this, honestly. I think there are some good moments and some bad moments, but it's certainly not to the level that some of the other shows are that we've watched. I don't have active disdain for this like I do for Dr. Phil or some of the therapists that are on Grey's Anatomy. So, like, I didn't hate it. I kind of enjoyed this. I'm very intrigued by the premise of this show. I will say it's like on my list of things that I want to watch, but for the time being, I think we'll just continue doing like no context reactions because it was kind of fun for me, honestly. I'm not going to lie. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, definitely like the video and then leave me a comment letting me know what you guys think. And like I said, if you have suggestions for what I should talk about next, leave me the season and the episode below so that I don't have to dig for it. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's available on like Netflix, I think, and Hulu. But yeah, leave me the season and the episode so that I can find it and I will include it in our next episode. In the meantime, if you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel because we have content like this, but then we also do like a cute little educational moment every now and again. So I'd love to have you stay and be part of our little community and then share the video to help the channel grow and to help each other grow. And I will see you guys next Saturday. Okay, bye.